What if I told you that there's a 7-day family road trip through Canada where you will discover T-Rex fossils, spot wild bisons, reach mountain turquoise water, and all while avoiding most of the crowds that ruin many family vacations? In this video, I'll share you a road trip from the prairies to the Rockies that most people don't take and miss. Let's begin. So let's start in Regina with the trip, and from Regina we're gonna head to the historic Red Coat Trail, and here's why it matters for your family trip planning. It's just a 2 hours drive from Regina and short enough for one film in the backseat, which means happy kids, less stress while driving, which is important. But we're gonna stop in Gravelbourg, which has the 1918s Notre Dame Cathedral, and my pro tip from Switzerland is where I plan is Canada travel routes. The adjacent bakery sells kid-sized croissants, and the culture center has clean washrooms. And believe me, these are important if you have both together. Just in case, you never know, right? And if you have kids, you will understand that. But from Gravelbourg, we move on the Highway 13. This is a 1,300 kilometer long stretch called the Red Coat Trail that follows exactly the 1874 Northwest Mounted Police March West, and your kids will literally driving through Canadian history. But wait until you see what's coming up in Eastend, where we talk about the T-Rex Discovery Center that will blow your kids' minds. Let's go on. We drive on this trail from Gravelbourg towards the Canadian Rockies, and we're gonna drive the Ecotour Scenic Drive, where your family will spot bison, prairie dogs, pronghorn, and badland views that looks like from another world. And the whole thing we're gonna do is in the Grasslands National Park, entering from the West Block. And what you can do, or kids can do, is they're gonna join a Summer Parks family program where kids can actually handle bison hairs, prairie dog skull replicas, and this hands-on learning you can't get anywhere else. And after dusk, here's the magic moment. Lie back for a dark sky preserve constellation hunt. Rangers use laser pointers to turn the night sky into a living classroom, something that your kids will definitely remember. And if you would like to have the whole itinerary, I have a link below that you can take this itinerary and plan a trip based on it, where you then see the whole itinerary on a stop-by-stop basis, how long you have to drive and how far, and you get a detailed plan. Let's go back to the guide, and from day 2, now we're coming to the place I've mentioned before. We're driving from the Badlands, from the Grasslands, to the dinosaur area. And it's a 90-minute hop from the Grasslands, where you're gonna stop at the T-Rex Discovery Center, where kids can enter without paying anything into the museum and cast their own fossils to take home. And what you're gonna do is you're gonna meet Scotty. Scotty is the world's largest T-Rex skeleton, and you can solve puzzles at various stations depending on your age. They have different difficulty levels. And yeah, this isn't just looking at this place at all. Kids will become their own paleontologist for the day. And I just realized that I haven't shared the screen. So let's get back. So here's the screen with the whole itinerary. You're gonna see, we're gonna move downwards. We've been on day 2, where we're gonna visit. We stopped at Eastend, by the way. So if you're already on it, if learning something new every time and discover these hidden gems in Canada, and if you like them, then hit the thumbs up button, subscribe for weekly updates on family-friendly adventure guides, or how you can plan your holidays much easier and faster, more efficient, then hit the comment then hit that in the comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are and what your kids' dream discovery is. And if you prefer dinosaur, wildlife, or mountain views for your family. I will read every comment below and I will give you an answer for every question you have. And I really appreciate your help. That brings me forward and will help me producing more of this content. Let's get back. And this time with the screen, you see? So from the Eastend Dino Park, we're gonna drive over to the Cypress Hill Interprovincial Park. It's the highest plateau east of the Rockies. It's 1,466 meters high. And here's why this stop is a genius stop for families that only have lakefront playgrounds, shallow swimming pools, and the 1 kilometer lookout point that's completely stroller friendly. And for older kids, there's something special they can do. They can earn a junior NWMP badge during a musket drill at Fort Walsh. It's an interactive history that makes learning much more fun. So with having said that, stay tuned at the, I don't know if it's a 7-minute mark, but I'll try to get there. I'll reveal some Instagram friendly and famous ice cream stops with awesome views that locals try to keep a secret. And when you go further down to the next day on the list, the next stop, and what we're gonna do at lunch, we're gonna stop at the Lundbreck Falls, where that offers picnic tables, flush toilets, and plenty of space for kids to run around safely. And this is a strategic stop for your trip because you not only get rewarded with beautiful scenery, but also kids can get and run around and let some energy get out. That's also important, as we all know. And then from there, we're gonna move on, stop at the Pincher Creek, and then drive to the Frank Slide Interpretive Center. Kids under 17 enter free. And here's what makes this stop special. They have 2 short films that explain the 1903 disaster using Lego style animations that keep young attention spans engaged. This educational value here is incredible because your kids learn about geology, history, and natural disaster in a way that's actually entertaining. And then for the night, here's even a proposal where you could stay in Pincher Creek, Alberta for an overnight stay. Because on the next day, we're driving towards Banff and we're gonna follow Highway 22, also known as the Cowboy Highway. And here's the family hack. Every around 45 minutes, there's a farm gate ice cream shack. You get Longview's Giant Scoop. Longview's Giant Scoop is pure Instagram gold and worth to stop, and you got rewarded with nice scenery along the way. Plan an overnight stay that I haven't here on the map in Kananaskis village. There's plenty of resorts and possible stays that you can book. One of the resorts I've mentioned in another video that you need to check out because it offers plenty of stuff for you and your kids to do with indoor pools and fun stuff and adventures on the resort itself. But from there, we're gonna drive over to Banff, which is one of Canada's most iconic destinations. And one thing you need to do with your kids is go to the Bow Falls Boardwalk. It's stroller friendly. It's just 5 minutes from the parking slot, and perfect thing to do with your little ones. And here's the budget tip for you when you're in Banff. Kids under 5 won't pay anything for the bus rides within Banff. So if you want to explore Banff without hopping in the car all the time, a great way to do that. But if you take the shuttle buses to Moran Lake or Lake Louise, you will need to pay for your kids as well. Just to make sure you get there in time, not too late, meaning too late, not in the middle of the day, go rather at the earliest time possible that is doable with your kids, or as late as possible. Grab a canoe that offers enough space for your whole family at Lake Louise, rent one, and get on the lake. It's a bit more of an adventure, and you don't need to share the space with the whole crowd. So after an overnight stay in Banff, you're gonna move over from Lake Louise, you drive the Kicking Horse Pass over to the Yoho National Park. And if it's early summer, you might even encounter some snow, so perfect for some snowball fights. And other than that, when you're down in the valley, make a stop for a picnic, take in the whole scenery. It's beautiful, mind-blowing, and will be in your kids' minds forever, believe me. I know what I'm talking about. Then you move over to the Emerald Lake, which offers you splendid views of turquoise water as promised in the beginning. And the whole area is stroller friendly, so for your smaller kids, a perfect way to get around. And other than that, a pro tip here is to visit the natural bridge. It's a natural rock formation that looks like something from a fairy tale. And having said that, when you're done seeing the area, move on to Golden and visit the Golden Skybridge, which is actually Canada's highest suspension bridge. It's 130 meters above the deep canyon in the Columbia Valley. But there's also other things to do for your kids. There are a ton of activities. I'll link that in the description below. You can take a mini zip line that's perfect for kids aged 8 to 12. There's many other things like mentioned before that you can do. For example, stop at the Northern Lights Wildlife Wolf Center, where your family can learn about wolf behavior up close, as you see here. And here you have the whole overview of the trip. I've mentioned before, if you take this trip, you're gonna see the whole itinerary when you plan the whole thing. And then of course you can add or adjust the trip for your needs, meaning when you want to stop in Calgary, going back home, or go over to Vancouver, for example. But in general, what makes this route special is you just completed a different type of way getting to the Rockies. You came from the Prairie, from Regina, all the way to the Rocky Mountains in Alberta, and it's an adventure that most families usually miss. You hit 8 incredible stops without marathon driving days, which is also important when you're on the route with your kids. So, from prairie bingos to dino digs, easy mountain hikes and sky-high bridges, this complete Canadian Rockies family adventure road trip is now yours. Check the free detailed itinerary below in the description. As I've mentioned, it's not from Mindtrip, but I built it in Mindtrip, and it's user-friendly so that you can, when you take it and plan your stop with this itinerary, you can add and adjust things and find maybe even restaurants and other stops. But make sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell button, because this way you won't miss the second part, because next week I'm gonna talk about another way to reach the Rockies from a different destination than just the classical ones. Next time we'll start in Winnipeg and Manitoba and drive all the way over to Jasper. And having said that, if you need more inspiration, more ideas, check my 7-day summer road trip through the Canadian Rockies from the classical way from Vancouver. Also, it covers family-friendly stops along the route with insider tips that makes it a perfect addition to this road trip. And plus, I'm working hard on a series with hidden gems featuring secret camping spots that locals won't want to share or don't want that they're gonna be too famous. So hit the notification bell to not miss anything else. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions. And with that, you will never miss exclusive discoveries. Take care and see you soon.